Securing Nigeria's future, rebuilding prosperity. Watchwords as President Tinubu signs 2025 appropriation bill into law.
Through the economic discipline and strategic reforms, we achieve what many deemed impossible.
Policymakers charged on taking the lead to drive the nation's digital transformation.
Our focus is on empowering young Nigerians with the skills and resources necessary to thrive in the modern job market.
Also tonight, First Lady advocates reformation of the Almajiri system of education, starting with operators of the institutions.
And also put laws in place so that all these Almajiri schools are registered.
Good evening. I'm Lami Ali. You're welcome to the Network News on NTA. We have an exciting lineup for you tonight. Joining me are Hengino John Adams, reporting live from Lagos, Benny Adams with the latest business news, and Ayodiji Makinde, who's got all the sporting news you need to know. Remember, you can join us on our website on nt.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen. So let's get started. President Bola Tinubu has reaffirmed commitments to securing Nigeria's future, rebuilding prosperity and ensuring that every Nigerian shares in the dividends of good governance under his watch. The president spoke after signing the 2025 appropriation bill of 54.99 trillion naira into law at the State House this Friday. State House correspondent Ms. Wout and Wahab reports on the budget of transformation.
From the executive, the 2025 appropriation bill of 49.7 trillion naira went to National Assembly on December 18, 2024. But then, the collaborative effort of both the executive and the legislature discovered the possibility of more revenue to further power the economy in other areas.
Any policy that you propose that can alleviate the suffering of Nigerians, be rest assured of the support of the National Assembly, both chambers. We will go with you. We are behind you. We will go with you because we know that you mean well for this country. Here now is the budget. You are about to make history. You gave it to us in December. People may think we delayed. No. We had to go through line by line, clause by clause, to ensure that we meet the aspiration, not just of your administration, but that of the entire nation.
More than 70 days later, the reloaded budget of 54.99 trillion naira is back to the sender. Apparently fulfilled with the effort of key players, the president says the budget, tagged Budget of Transformation, is set to empower Nigerians more and build a resilient future for the country.
The past year tested our resolve, but through the economic discipline and strategic reforms, we achieve what many deemed impossible. There are no dust in our faces, and there are no tears in our cheeks. We work together as brothers and sisters, collaborate with Nigerians. After the initial turbulence, and the takeoff was very, very cloudy and uncertain. Today, we see a light at the end of the tunnel.
And from the dashboard of the president, the economy indices are looking up. From 6.2% in 2003, President Tinubu says the deficit has been reduced to 4.1%. Revenue increased to 21.6 trillion naira, while the national GDP has rebounded to 3.86%.
Forest reform is working the foreign exchange. The minimum wage was raised and we are meeting all obligations. Thank you.
Now that the 2025 budget has become an act of parliament, the National Assembly has promised to do its bit of oversight and ensure that the budget is implemented to the letter for the benefit of all Nigerians. From the State House, Muspal and Wahab, NT News.
We move to the judiciary, where the Supreme Court has ordered the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, and the Accountant General of the Federation to step for the release of financial allocations to Rivers State government with immediate effect. Chukwunonsonwabweze reports that the Apex Court also invalidated the local government election conducted in the state.
The Apex Court directed that the order shall be enforced until the Rivers State Governor Similaye Fubara stops all his illegal, unlawful and unconstitutional activities. The court said that no money shall be released to the state government until a lawful appropriation is enacted under the Martin Amwehule speakership. In a judgment delivered by Justice Emmanuel Agwim, the Supreme Court also ordered the 27 members of Rivers State House of Assembly to resume function immediately. The unanimous judgment of the 5-man panel of justices led by Justice Musa Wani Abaji dismantled all actions carried out by Governor Fubara for being unlawful. The Apex Court frowned on the governor for engaging in demolition of the House of Assembly with impunity just to prevent 27 legislators in the House of Assembly from sitting to carry out lawful activities. Justice Agwin ordered the clerk and deputy clerk who were unlawfully deployed out of the House of Assembly to be allowed to resume work alongside House of Assembly workers. The court held that it was an aberration for Governor Fubara to operate with only 4 out of the 32 House of Assembly members under the guise of fears that he would be impeached. According to the justices, Fubara, by his unlawful act, among others, collapsed the House of Assembly and used his immunity under Section 308 of the 1999 Constitution to carry out the acts against the rule of law. In another judgment, the Supreme Court has declared as invalid, illegal, null and void the local government election conducted in Rivers State on October 5, 2024 and won by the All People's Party, APP. The Apex Court held that the election was invalid because all conditions precedent billed to be implemented were jettisoned by Rivers State Electoral Commission. Specifically, Justice Jamilu Tukuru, who delivered the lead verdict, held that the council poll was conducted in gross violations of Section 150 of the Electoral Act 2022. A federal high court in Abuja in September 2024 has stopped the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, from releasing voters registered to the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission for the purpose of conducting the October 5, 2024 local government elections in the state. The court had also barred the Inspector General of Police and the Department of State Service, DSS, from providing security. In Abuja, Chukwunonsonwabweze, NTN News.
So, joining us via Zoom to discuss the judgments by the Supreme Court that has settled the matter, which dragged for some time, is a professor of law, Benga Oke Samuel. He is the former Dean Faculty of Law at Dekunle Ajashin University from Ondo State. Prof, thank you for joining us on NTA Network News.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Now, the Apex Court has ordered CBN and, of course, the Accountant General of the Federation from further release of financial allocations to Rivers State governments. What does that portend for Rivers State at this point in time?
Now, what the Supreme Court has just done is to put Rivers State on the right course, what is expected of a democratic system. That is the position of the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has just put an end to impunity that has been reigning in Rivers State and a reversal of the actors to toe the path of the rule of law. That's what the Supreme Court has just done. The headmasters have spoken. The implication is that the governor and the assemblymen must learn to work together. That's just the position.
All right. Now, in addition to the key order, other rulings by the Apex Court directing a reversal of other decisions taken in the aftermath of the previous court judgments. Now, how does it affect related cases elsewhere?
Pardon? So how does it affect what?
Related cases elsewhere. These key judgments that has not been passed by this.
It is the same position. We have always been canvassing this position that governors across the nation must learn to respect the rule of law. It's not a must. The governors are not law unto themselves. The position has been clear consistently. The Supreme Court has been taking this position about the issue of local government system. The need to free the local government system from the grip of the governors. But everywhere governors have been, becoming a law to themselves, dissolving local governments with impunity and conducting different elections, So it's just a way of telling them that it's not going to be business as usual, that the court is living up to expectations. And then the consequences, that is the one we should be looking at, that the governors must learn to live with this fact that they are not law unto themselves. They must go the way of the rule of law. It's simple. That's the position. So anywhere there's this type of a situation, then they must learn to live by it and be ready to face the consequence.
All right. On a final note, the court has declared the local government elections held in Rivers State as illegal. Now, tell us your advice to the government and the governor on some of his acts being declared unlawful by the courts.
Like I said, the governor of Rivers State, Fubara, must learn to live with those assemblymen. It's clear impunity. And it's just an aberration for just 4 members to be legislating for the whole of Rivers State. It's just an abuse of position. It's a slap on democracy. And I'm happy that the headmasters have lived up to billings. They have restored respect for the rule of law in Rivers State. So everybody must learn to live with this. That is just the position. The governor must learn to live. And the key players in that state must learn, but must understand the fact that what is going on in Rivers State is beyond Wike and Fubara. It's about the rule of law. It's about allowing democracy to thrive. It's about recognizing the fact that there are 3 tiers of government: the executive, the legislative, and the judiciary. The executive must learn to respect the parliament. The governor cannot pocket the parliament. Like the court said, until there is a position taken by court concerning whether those guys have decamped or they have not decamped, it is not for the governor to unilaterally declare that those guys have decamped and therefore they cease to be members of the parliament. That has been the position of some of us. There must be a declaration by the court of law. Until there's such a declaration, the guys remain members of the House of Assembly. And so the governor must learn to live with them, otherwise it's going to be in a big trouble with those guys. That's just the reality.
Thank you so much, Professor Oke, for bringing perspective into the whole situation.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here.
All right, moving on, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, says the recent Supreme Court judgment is a victory for the people of Rivers State. The minister expressed this during a media briefing in Abuja. Onoze Yakubu reports that the minister also commends the judiciary for upholding the rule of law.
I've always said that the will of justice is
FCT Minister Nyesom Wike describes the recent Supreme Court judgment as enough is enough of the impunity going on in Rivers State.
The Supreme Court has made it very clear that you cannot have a democracy without a legislature.
Nyesom Wike, who was full of appreciation, asked that disobedience to the Supreme Court pronouncement is a call to anarchy. Onoze Yakubu, NTA News.
Now, Rivers State government has reaffirmed its commitment to upholding the rule of law and protecting the interests of its people. This comes after the Supreme Court's judgment on February 28 concerning the state funds and local government administration. According to Commissioner of Information and Communication, Wari Senibo Joe Johnson, the government is awaiting a detailed briefing on the implications of the judgment. Once received, they will carefully evaluate the situation and determine the next steps to take in the best interests of the state. Joe Johnson urged Rivers people to remain calm, law-abiding and go about their lawful businesses while the government seeks clarity on the judgment. And the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has responded to Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara's accusation of selective implementation of elections to fill vacancies in the National and State Assembly. INEC stated that no specific instances of alleged selective action were presented, and the Commission cannot act on the crisis in the Rivers State House of Assembly as the matter is pending in court and therefore sub judice. The Commission explained that it has been joined in several suits filed by litigants at various courts, including the Supreme Court, and must await the final judicial pronouncement on the matter before taking action. This comes amid a protracted crisis in the Rivers State House of Assembly, where two factions are vying for control and 4 lawmakers have declared the seats of 27 members vacant. And now to politics. The 13th National Executive Committee meeting of the governing All Progressives Congress, APC, held Wednesday this week, has inaugurated a high-powered committee led by its former national chairman and governor of Yobe State, Mai Mala Buni, to examine restructuring of the NEC membership. Political correspondent Abubakar Akwanga reports.
After the storm comes calm, now the APC NEC meeting is over and critical national assignment comes calling. And this time around, the party is setting machinery in motion to expand membership of one of the party's organs, and the man at the center is a former national chairman of APC and incumbent governor of Yobe State, Mai Mala Buni.
We are to expand and look at so many areas, critical areas, that will improve upon what we have as a constitution today. And of course, certain areas that will benefit membership of the party and wider participation. So this is something that I cannot say this is why we are going to stop.
Governor Buni says the 7 members committee will work within the NEC framework and terms of reference to meet set targets before the duration of the committee elapses.
You start from 2023 to 2027. It's all about preparation. It's all about, even what the president is doing and delivering to the nation is in preparation for 2027. So there is no specific time for certain things. It is all about you being in government. You are the one expected to be delivering. So
chairman of the Membership Expansion Committee, who also doubles as the chairman APC Reconciliation Committee in the Northeast Geopolitical Zone, appreciates the role and pledges total commitment to a conclusive report. In Abuja, Abubakar Akwanga, NTA News.
We pause now for some messages. The news continues after. Do stay. President Bola Tinubu is calling on all relevant stakeholders to support his administration in building a stronger economy for the country. The president was speaking when he received a delegation of stakeholders from Akwa Ibom State at the State House. Our correspondent, Musbah Danwahab, brings us the details.
Akwa Ibom State literally emptied with these stakeholders visiting President Bola Tinubu.
Mr. President, this is Akwa Ibom. My people are here.
The existing unity within the state also resonated with a roll call cutting across political divides. Past and current leaders from the states are here.
So today, Akwa Ibom has exemplified it in practice that though towns and tribes may differ, but in brotherhood we stand.
With the acknowledged support of the presidents, one of them is the number 3 citizen of the nation and another was chosen to drive a critical sector Minister of State Petroleum Gas. And significantly, Akwa Ibom State is one of the states benefiting from one of the flagship projects of the Tinubu's administration, the Lagos-Calabar Superhighway. They appreciate the sense of belonging, but importantly, acknowledge that the reforms of the president are now turning in results indicating a brighter future.
Though the immediate plans of effects of these pains may be inconveniencing, but we are thankful to God for the support of Nigerians that our nation is on the path of recovery. If this administration succeeds, we all succeed. And national success should not be predicated on a purely partisan basis, but on a patriotic spirit.
But then, the governor has new requests to the president seeking support in addressing the ecological challenge in the state and the realization of the Ibom Deep Seaport.
The realization of this project will be an economic game changer, not only for our state, but for the South-South, Southeast, respectively, and indeed the nation at large.
President Tinubu lauded the show of unity amongst the state stakeholders, pointing out that such is necessary for the growth and development of a country at large.
We must work together to build this nation. I don't know how the governor did it to bring this together, but you represent and reflect a good society. I've just signed a landmark budget. I could see the cloud dissipating, the uncertainty going away. The hope returning to Nigeria. I just want through this channel, through Medium, thank you for staying the course.
And again, another feather to the cap of President Bola Tinubu as the Council of Traditional Rulers in the states conferred on him a traditional title of Otuikong of Akwa Ibom State, translating to Commander-in-Chief of the state. From the State House, Musbal and Wahab, NC News.
The Sultan of Sokoto and President General of the Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, His Eminence Muhammad Sa'ad Abubakar III, has announced the Ramadan fast, that Ramadan fast will commence tomorrow, Saturday, March 1st, 2025. The Sultan confirmed sighting of the moon marking the beginning of the Islamic month of Ramadan.
Call on all Muslims across this great country to devote the month of Ramadan in full worship of Almighty Allah and prayers for our country, for our leaders at all levels. As we call on all our brothers and sisters to commence fasting in this holy month of Ramadan, we urge you to always be aware of the responsibilities on your shoulders as Muslims, to always pray for our leaders, to pray for our states, to pray for our country.
Ramadan is the 9th month of the Islamic calendar and is observed by Muslims worldwide as a period of fasting, prayer, reflection and community. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has extended his heartfelt wishes to all Muslims observing Ramadan for a month filled with joy, peace and spiritual renewal. He prays that this period will be marked by good health, spiritual fulfillment and divine blessings. President Tinubu urges all Muslims to embrace the lessons of piety, humility and selflessness. He says this Ramadan holds a special significance as the nation experiences renewed hope and progress. The President added that the present administration's policies are yielding positive results with gradual economic stabilization. reduction in the prices of food, and a stabilizing exchange rate. He praised for the nation's continued growth and developments. President Bola Tinubu has implored new members of the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, NIPSS, and other policymakers in Nigeria to take the lead in driving the nation's digital transformation and tech-driven economic growth. Vice President Kashim Shettima, who represented the president, gave the charge at the graduation ceremony of Senior Executive Course 46 of the Institute in Kuru, Plateau State. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila was there.
6 of you, the membership of the National Institute.
This signifies the graduation of 96 members of the Senior Executive Course 46 of the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies that presented a report of its research titled Digital Economy, Youth Empowerment and Sustainable Job Creation in Nigeria, Issues, Challenges and Opportunities. And with the research report, the federal government promised that initiatives, including the expansion of broadband infrastructure, the development of digital entrepreneurship, and the implementation of the National Digital Economy Policy and Strategy, will help the country maximize the potential of its youth population.
Beyond the digital economy, we are implementing policies to enhance vocational and technical education, boost agriculture, and stimulate manufacturing through targeted support for small and medium-sized enterprises. Through initiatives like the Renewed Hope Skills Acquisition Program, we are equipping young Nigerians with practical skills in technology, construction, and the creative enterprises. In agriculture, the special agro-industrial processing zones are fostering value addition, while the Presidential Palliative Program for MSMEs is providing grants and low-interest loans to small businesses. Our focus is on empowering young Nigerians with the skills and resources necessary to thrive in the modern job market, ensuring that economic growth translates into real opportunities for all.
Since its inception in 1979, NIPSS has stood at the forefront of shaping policy and leadership in Nigeria. As the country's premier think tank, the Institute has continually pursued its mission of producing thought leaders and providing actionable policy recommendations that drive national development. I'm excited to announce that we were able to pull through a legacy project to support the Institute. In this wise, I want to specifically thank and appreciate my colleagues for the foresight of our legacy project, the construction of an eye and dental clinic.
The class of 96 members had also developed 2 humanoid robots using locally sourced materials at the National Center for Artificial Intelligence and Robotics, owned by the National Information Technology Development Agency. The essence is to show the capacity and ability to drive developmental processes with homegrown technologies. From Jos, Abdurrahman Jibrila, NTA News.
As part of a grand plan to give hope to Almajiris and other out-of-school children in the country, Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu has called for a reform of the Almajiri education system, starting with proper registration of those who operate the schools. She made the call while granting audience to the Executive Secretary of the National Commission for Almajiri and Out-of-School Children in Nigeria, Dr. Mohammed Sani Idris, and his team in her office at the Villa. State House correspondent Adeni Taiwo reports.
They are not beggars, but seekers of Quranic knowledge at a tender age. Yet, they are left out on the street, alone to fend for themselves, subject to abuse and manipulation. Their growing number, said to be about 30 million, is a national concern, which the National Commission on Almajiri and Out-of-School Children is seeking collaboration to address. This visit by the Commission, led by its Executive Secretary, Dr. Mohammed Sani Idris, to the office of Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, is not just for collaboration, but a strident cry for help to address the plight of the Almajiris in order to secure the nation. To achieve this, the First Lady emphasizes the need for proper registration of both the students and those who run the schools.
Even people who go to regular school, they are being abused if they fall into wrong hands. But how do we now start with all those imams that are housing these children? They have to be registered. And also put laws in place so that all these Nigerian schools are registered. So that's how we can know the number.
She says the alternative high school for girls and its increasing impact is a model that can inspire effective Almajiri education system.
You have to take one first and make sure that it's working. You put all the resources there, make sure it is working so it becomes a reference point. The imam can have his own house. So it can be like a co-principal in the new school for Quranic studies.
Added to the 18.5 million out-of-school children that places Nigeria second on global rankings, the challenge of Almajiri is one that requires urgent and thorough attention.
Boko Haram has also decided to linguistically manipulate Almajiri by giving them interpretations that are not in tandem with the correct teaching of the Quran. We are going to open a school in the next 3 or 4 days in Kaduna, where we will bring those memorizers of the Quran, give them the ability to understand Arabic so that they will develop linguistical immunity against any ideology that is foreign. We will also give them English so that they will be able to contribute to the development of the GDP of this country and the growth of the country. We are also going to expose them to rigorous skills acquisition so that at the end of that program, Your Excellency, they will have the cause to live a life that is worthy of living.
Away from our meeting, the First Lady kept her promise to the National Council for Women Societies in Nigeria with a donation of a 14-seater jet mover passenger bus to the council on behalf of RHI.
When you came the last time, we thought that, we have to bless you this to start a new chapter of your life. And the other request, we are working on it, and God will help us.
On behalf of the council, the national president, Edna Azura, appreciated the First Lady for using RHI to empower women in the country. In the State House, Adeni Itaiwo, NTA News.
Senator representing Kwara Central Senatorial District, Salihu Mustafa, has empowered thousands of artisans, farmers, small and medium-scale entrepreneurs, as well as market women with items worth billions of naira. The agricultural and human capital empowerments, which took place in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital, had beneficiaries selected from his constituency. Aisha Abubakar has the report.
The billion naira agricultural and human capital empowerment program by Senator representing Kwara Central Senatorial District, Salihu Mustafa, was aimed at equipping artisans, farmers and market women with items and resources needed for their business to thrive. Items given to the beneficiaries include cows, fish and fish dryers, grinding and extracting machines, tractors for farmers, tricycles and commercial vehicles for various transportation unions, sewing machines for tailors, transformers for various communities in his constituency, pumping machines, as well as farm products and freezers for food sellers, among others.
For me, it's a thing of joy and fulfillment that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made today possible for us to actualize our future plans and dreams. We made sure nobody is taking scholarship for just 1 term or 1 year. For those who are doing 5-year program, 6-year program, 4-year program, we have paid the entire school fees to the schools. So that when you have the skill, then the precious component we brought into beer, so that you can now set up your own business and become employers of labor.
I can proudly beat my chest and boast that the reform that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu initiated in terms of food security is working.
It will times 10 what we used to produce before now. And by implication, there will be bumper harvest.
It will benefit us a lot in various ways because when we trade with it, we will have benefit and God should bless our business.
Over 3,000 people benefited from the multi-billion naira empowerment program, while the beneficiaries were also trained earlier on how best to utilize the items given to them. Aisha Abubakar Yahaya, NTA News.
The Ilorin Innovation Hub was established by the Kwara State government in collaboration with the IHS Towers of Strength to develop and improve talents in young people as well as create unlimited opportunities in the world of information technology. Shola Wahid reports on activities marking the official commencement of the programs of the hub in Ilorin, Kwara State.
The Ilorin Innovative Hub is another initiative of the Kwara State government to develop talents, create job opportunities and generate revenue, among other benefits. In the press briefing to sensitize the people on what the Ilorin Innovative Hub stands to offer, Chief Executive Officer of IHS, the partner of Kwara State government in the Innovative Hub project, Muhammad Dawish, explained that the hub is designed to nurture creative minds, equip young innovators with critical skills and provide them with resources for development.
This is about digital skills acquisition, so it allows people who come here and they want to learn a little bit about artificial intelligence.
Today we're celebrating the kickoff of the programs that we will do in the facility, given that the facility is now ready. Ilorin creates a lot of great technical talent because we have great universities in Ilorin, but unfortunately most of that talent tends to go over to Lagos or other places. So this is our attempt at retaining the talent that we are already generating in Ilorin.
Managing Director of Ilorin Innovative Hub, Temi Kolawole, highlighted some benefits of the hub.
We have the best and biggest innovation hub building structure in Nigeria and West Africa at the moment. I think the only thing that comes close to this is maybe in Eastern and Southern Africa. So it's very intentional because that's also a message saying we're very serious about what we're trying to do here.
Kwara State Governor Abdurrahman Abrazak represented emphasized the commitment of his administration to doing the needful towards making Kwara great. The occasion also featured artistic display of visual impressions and representations where successful talented artists were rewarded with 500,000 naira each. In Ilorin, Shola Wahid, NTA News.
Let's now join Hingino in Lagos for other stories. Hello, Hingino.
Lami, and welcome to Lagos. The 23rd Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja, has been immortalized with the renaming of the Nigerian Army Cantonment Ikeja as T.A. Lagbaja Cantonment to mark his posthumous birthday, as well as honor his remarkable achievements in defending the territorial integrity of the nation. Joel Popola reports that service chiefs and the Lagos State Governor say the initiative will encourage selfless service among members of the nation's armed forces.
A worthy posthumous honor bestowed on a man whose service to his fatherland will not be forgotten in a hurry. The renaming of the Nigerian Army Cantonment Ikeja to T.A. Lagbaja is to honor the exemplary leadership and dedication of the 23rd Chief of Army Staff. The Chief of Defense and Army Staff who were at the ceremony say the immortalization is not out of place, as the gallant general was once the commander of the 9th Brigade. They recalled his sterling leadership qualities, whose tenure brought about brilliant reforms to the Nigerian Army.
Ikeja Cantonment has been one place that has played a major role in my development. Since I was commissioned in 1991 and posted to 192 Battalion Ode, 9 brigades was one rallying point for us all, and it has continued to be so. So I'm happy that it has been named after one of our own, and we really appreciate that. And again, a reminder to all of us living that what you do follows you after you.
And it's only worthy to immortalize his name for the gallant strides he took on earth and his indelible footprints.
The governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, assured that the state government will continue to sustain the symbiotic relationship with the armed forces, which the late general solidified.
Our administration maintains a special relationship with the Nigerian military. Our security collaboration, the infrastructural support, and the welfare initiative reflect their appreciation to the men of our armed forces.
With the wife of the former Chief of Army Staff, Abiodun Lagbaja, and family members in attendance, the occasion was a moment of pride for the family. In Lagos, Joel Pukbola, NTA News.
That's all from Lagos. The news will continue after this break.
Kwara State is poised to lead a transformative livestock revolution, leveraging its vast resources to drive economic growth, enhance food nutrition and security, and uplift the livelihoods of millions. Governor Umar Namadi highlighted this ambitious vision during a consultative workshop in Dutse, the state capital. The event, organized by the Presidential Livestock Reforms Implementation Committee and co-chaired by Professor Atahiru Jega, brought together key stakeholders to chart a path forward for the sector. Muhammad Musa Askira reports that with over 4 million livestock, Kwara State is exploring innovative strategies to maximize this potential, ensuring sustainable development and improved well-being for its residents.
Nigeria's cattle production, the co-chair of the Presidential Livestock Reforms Implementation Committee, Professor Atahiru Jega, says is predominantly pastoral, accounting for approximately 82% of the country's 58 million cattle, with only 17% raised under agropastoral systems. Jega notes that to address challenges facing the livestock subsector, including genetic resource limitations and inadequate national infrastructure, subnational governments have crucial role to play in livestock reforms and development. For states like Jigawa, has already set the pace with significant strides in developing its livestock sector, with the state governments pledging to actively support livestock development through various programs.
Jigawa State, with its vast favorable climate, fertile land and strategic location, is well positioned to lead Nigeria's livestock revolution.
With our collaboration with the Presidential Implementation Committee and with the support from the President, who has shown clear interest in developing the livestock sector in Nigeria, I think we're home and dry.
The stakeholders consultative workshop is to deliberate on the ways to enhance and develop the sector for national food and nutrition security and economic developments. From Dutse, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
We take another break. Do stay. President Bola Tinubu has sent condolences to the family and professional associates on the passing of Chief Mrs. Anike Agbaje Williams. She made history as the first face to appear on Africa's first television station, the Western Nigerian Television, WNTV, noting that her professional example will continue to inspire current and future generations of media practitioners, and prayed that God comforts them during this difficult time. Well, we had so much on our hands tonight. We apologize sincerely for our inability to bring to you business and sports news. Ramadan Kareem, and do have a wonderful evening. I'm Lami Ali.